Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be showing you a Node.js validation library which is called as fastest validator, and we will be building a simple validation system inside Node.js with the help of this library. So the command is pretty simple, npm I fastest validator. So you can see it has got 26,000 weekly downloads. So it is a very powerful validation library. So this is my empty project. Let me initialize the empty package.json file with the command npm init -y. So this has created the empty package.json file. Now we need to install express and also this library which is fastest validator, and also you need to install one other dependency which is ejs is a template engine, and also nodemon, so which will automatically restart the application. All the source code of this tutorial is given in the video description. You can go to the video description to go to my blog, and all the source code will be given to you. So go to the video description and check all the code. So it is just doing installing the dependency, so just wait. So it hardly take 2 minutes to install, so just wait. So just wait guys, it is installing here. So it totally depends upon your internet speed. So you will see that it is a very famous library. All documentation is great, all examples are given to you. So I will be taking all examples and show to you how to use this. So now you can see that I have successfully installed it. So I can use this inside my Visual Studio Code text editor. So one other dependency that I want to use is that is express sessions. So just install this. So this will be useful to store the error messages that are coming here. So install this express sessions. So now inside this, what we need to do is that we need to change this to app.js, and also we need to create a start script here. App.js. So now inside this guys, inside your root folder, you need to create a app.js file. So it is saying overwrite. We just overwrite. So right here inside this guys, we will make a simple express server. So you need to require it first of all, and then we need to make a simple express app like this. So it will be listening on port 4000, and a callback function will be fired. That is, inside this we can console log that app is listening on port 4000. So right here guys, we need to make a simple get request. When we open the home page, we need to render out a template, EJS template. So here we can write here response.render index. So right here guys, we will set the view engine like this, app.set view engine EJS like this. So right here inside this we will create a views folder, and inside this we will create our index.ejs file. So right here we will have a simple bootstrap template, and let me just change this to express validator like this. And inside the body we will have a container class and a text heading which will be express validator in JavaScript. So right here guys, we will have a break tag just before it to create some space, and also after the heading we will have a break tag, and we will have a form here. Action will be the home route and the method will be post. So we will be making a post request to the home route. So route, right here we will have a form group. So input form control and input type text. So placeholder, this will be username. So it should be, I will not be having any kind of validation. Let me also provide a name attribute to it. Name username, that's it. And I will have another field of email. Input type, let me have text here. The validation will be handled at the back end. So let me also have a placeholder like email. And lastly, I will also be having one other for the password as well. So input type password, name will be password, and the placeholder will be password. And lastly, we will have a simple button block, and this will be simply submit. And now if I want to start my app, I can simply write the command npm start, and it should start my application at localhost 4000 port number. So if I execute this application, you will see three input fields will be there like this. Let me see, I haven't added the classes to the, just add this form control here and also add to the password field. So right here you can see that guys, username, email and password. So our form is ready. Let me add a this attribute autocomplete to off. So right here inside your app.js we will have this library which is fastest validator. We need to require this library fastest validator. So we are requiring this library which we have installed here. You can see that validation library. So the first thing that we need to do, I think I need to also install body parser to get the form values. So here you can install body parser as well. So npm install body parser. So install this library. So this library will help us to get the values from the form that we are submitting. So without it you cannot get the values. So let me also start the server. So now let me bring this body parser, and inside this app.use we will have body parser URL encoded, and inside this we will have extended to false. And also in the next line we need to write body parser dot json like this. So now we have successfully configured the body parser middleware. Now we can make a simple post request right here when we submit the form on the home route. So this will have request response, and we can get the values that the user submits. First is the username, request.body.username, and for the pass email address we can simply do request.body.email, and for the password request.body password. And we can console log all these three values. So username, console log email, and console log password. So now if I go back to the application and now if I submit these details, let's suppose let me type anything here, click on submit, and now if I open the console you will see all these details will be printed out on the console. Now what we want is that we need to validate these details before submitting on. So we will use this library which is fastest validator. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to make a new instance of that. So this is a documentation which is given to us. So like this, new validator. In this case I have made this variable as fastest validator. So this is a constructor. Now we have successfully invoked it. Now after that we need to make a schema. Schema is nothing but how much values that you are specifying inside your form. So right here inside, just before we are making a post request, we will have the schema, and here we will define what values that we want. So first is the username, and next will be email, and then password. So here the username will be of type string, and email will also be of type, I think this needs to be of type email. I just need to check here if I, yes, you need to specify type to email here. This is an email address validator. So basically this is the email. So this needs to be type is equal to email. So here you also can specify minimum or maximum characters, but I will neglect that. And that's it. And I can also remove this. But here I can specify the minimum value, let's suppose to 5, and the maximum to be 10. So it is saying that your username should lie between 5 characters and 10 characters. It should not be more than 10 characters, or it should be at least 5 characters. And the password is, again, I need to specify, this needs to be type of a string, and again I can provide a maximum value or minimum value, let's suppose minimum of 4 characters. It should be of minimum 4 characters. That's it. So after this, guys, we need to compile our schema right here. I think this needs to be, yes, we need to compile it. So right here what we can do is that we need to invoke this v.compile. Sorry, I think I have declared, yes, v. So inside this v here we have a compile method, and we need to pass the schema. After passing the schema, we can check for the values that we have submitted. So I think inside this check function we can pass our values. First is our username. So username, we can pass here our username that we have submitted. Then is the email address. Then is the password. So basically we can store this value inside some value, let's suppose result, and then we can console log this just to see if it is working or not. Console log result. So if I again relaunch this application on port, let's suppose this is the application, and if I type the username, email is not valid, you can see that. And if I try to submit it, you will see I will get a response here. These are the errors which I am getting here. You can see that the username field must be greater than or equal to 5 characters long. This is a field of username. This is email. The email field must be a valid email. So these are the errors which are coming here inside this JSON object. And for the password field length must be greater than or equal to 4 characters long. So we are getting all the errors, guys. Now we just need to display these errors inside our this. You can see that we need to display these errors. For displaying this, we can use our express session. First of all, we can import this express session. We need to require it. Express session. So now we need to invoke this express session, apply this to our app. So app.use express session. So this is the object. First is a secret key that we need to define here. This is secret. You can define any secret key of your choice. Then is this option, save uninitialized to false, and save, I think I think this needs to be save uninitialized. I think that's enough. One other option is there, resave. Yes, resave, we need to initialize it to false. That's it. Now we have successfully initialized the express session. So what we can do is that when we are loading the home page, we can pass these values. First is the username error. We can initialize it to username error. This will be equal to request.session.username error, and same goes for the email error. Let me just show you email error. So this will be equal to request.session.email error, and same goes for password error. uh, Let me just show you. Let me have this on new line so that you can see. So password error. So password error, these are the variables that we are declaring. So we can get this by session request.session.password error. So now we need to make these session variables right here. So whenever we are getting this result here, we can extract the errors here. So you can see that if I should show you, let me just close this and relaunch this application, because I think, yes, let me just go to the command prompt and once again start this by executing npm start. So if you execute this, you will see our form is ready. Let me submit. It is saying cannot find express session. What is the problem? Let me just see. Oh, I think we haven't installed it, so that is the problem. So npm install express session. So install this library. So it will install it, so just wait. So again we start the application. So it has started the application on localhost 4000. And if I submit, you will see a response coming here. So these are the array of objects. So what we can do is that in order to initialize the values, we can, let me just click on this, uncheck this autosave option. So our errors variable, let me initialize it. So here, if errors exist inside this, we will check here in the if condition. So if the errors exist inside this, so what we can do is that we can initialize request.session dot our username error. So this will be equal to result, and this is a first object. So you can see that this is an array of objects. So inside the first object we have this message field, message. We need to initialize to this. Now we can similarly do this for email error also. Result 1 message, and lastly for the password as well. Result 2 dot error. In the else block, we can set one other variable which is success, which will be a boolean value, and we can set this to true. And in that case, if the error exists, then we can set this variable to false. And now we can even pass this value, which is success request.session.success. So this will be a boolean value depending upon whether you are successfully authenticated or not. Either true will be passed or false will be passed. And also after this we also need to reset the values as well. So all these values, request.session.username error, to null, email error to also null, request dot session dot password error to also null, and request dot session dot success to also null. So we are just resetting the values after you render out all these values. So I think after this we need to render out this values inside our template. This will be pretty simple. So right here we will have a simple if condition. Just before the form we will have this simple if condition, which is if success. So if the form is successfully submitted, in that case this will be a curly bracket. In that case we will show a simple div which has a class of alert success, a simple message that successfully validated, and also we need to close this if block. So inside this is a syntax of EJS, and I think if I just show you just for illustration purpose, if I type all the values correctly, let's suppose I type a username and I type a correct email address, you will see a success message coming here. And one thing I'm missing here, after the form is successful, we also need to redirect the page. So we can do like this, response dot redirect to slash. So this statement I was missing, so that is why if I again refresh this, if I type the values, and if I click submit, you will see all the values are rendered out, but it is saying to us that one error still exists for username. Field must be less than or equal to 10 characters long, because we have typed, uh, let me just, inside our condition, let me have maximum characters to 100. So in that way we will not be encountering this error. So again if I refresh, and if I click submit, what is the error, guys? The username field length must be less than or equal to 10 characters long. Let me just remove this for now. Let me have just this schema here, that's it. So let me try to do this once again. Oh, sorry guys, we I haven't turned on the autosave, that is why it was encountering it. So let me turn on the autosave, that is why it was not reflecting the changes. So now if I once again reload the application, and I think I need to restart the application. So it is now started the application, and now if I type a valid email address, if I click submit, cannot read message of undefined. So uh, just wait guys, I'm just checking that what it contains inside the result variable when our form is successful, when we have entered all the correct values. Let me just see what it contains. So it is coming out to be true. So in that case, if result is true, we need to shift this code inside this. So basically this is saying that if our validation error is not coming, in that case we need to shift this code here. So we have just written in wrong places. So let me just copy this code and paste it here, and we need to copy paste this code here like this. And also in this case also, response dot redirect, in either of the cases we need to redirect the page to the home page, so we need to write this statement. So I think if I refresh it now, it will hopefully print out the success message on the screen. And if I click submit, you will see that guys, successfully validated, and this success message is coming here, and now we are successfully validated. And why it is not coming, let me just see inside green color. It should be having green color inside this, so let me just see. Oh, I think we need to wrap this inside this paragraph. So let me just write this inside this successfully validated and remove this from here, and you will see if it, and now you can see that guys, successfully validated. It just changes the result here. Let me restart the application. npm start. So if I write the correct value, Gautam, you can see that now it is coming here, successfully validated. After doing this, what it is, let me just change this to false, not null. Request dot session dot yes. And now if I check, because if I reload the page, it is still, uh, and now after this guys, we also need to print out the error messages if any kind of error is there. So for doing that, what we can do is that, I think if I move this code here, just before this, and let me try this. So it is not working. So you need to write this code just after you render out the stuff like this. And for showing the error messages, it is pretty simple. We have used these session variables, which is username error, email error, and password error. So we are sending this errors inside this variables email error. So the This will be pretty simple. After each input field we can have a if condition like this. So if username error, we close this like this, and right here inside the span tag, let me just paste it here. Not so inside this we can have a simple paragraph. We can attach a class of alert danger, and we can print out the value, which is the variable in this case, which is username error, like this. So now we need to repeat this. So for our email, so right here just before the field, just replace the name email error. This will be email error. This is username email, and now lastly for the password. So now if I refresh it, guys, and also update some conditions inside our schema. So if I go back to the app.js file, so right here inside when we are making our schema here, where is the schema? Let me just see, guys, where is the schema? Mm, yes, this is a schema. So here we can provide some now variables. Minimum characters should be 5 and maximum should be 10. So it should lie between this 5 and the 10 characters. And again we can have uh, this there is also required selector here inside this required. So there is also a, you can inside you can just have a array of objects. So type should be of email, and then you can have another object type here of required. So here you can have a array here, and inside this you can provide multiple selectors. So this should be a email and it should be required. And similarly what we can do is that we can also make this as a array, and this should be also required, type required, and the password is also required, so we can just make it as a array. So type required. So these are the validations that you can apply. So if I just refresh it, so what is saying here? Type required. Let me have a look at the documentation. I think I have doing some time. Yes, I am talking about this roles, type number, uh, string. You can just read the documentation, guys, and then you can just make your own validations. Let me just stick to our original validations, which is, let me just change this to type email and remove this, and let me also have a restriction min to 10 and maximum to 30 or 15. So if I just refresh it, so hopefully you will see some validation messages which will coming here. Oh, sorry, we need to, yeah, wrap it inside email. So that was a problem. So if I write, let's suppose, incorrect username and incorrect like this. So in this case, let me see. Let me just see, guys. Request or